A big theme of my streams lately has been about overextension, you know? How when reactionary movements are trying to gain support, like there are two directions they can go. There are two like attitudes they can take. You know, it's like a defensive and an offensive attitude. When they're being when they're being defensive, they play it close to the vest. They try to bring as many people in as possible. They try not to be too divisive. So the Republican Party, since Donald Trump became the president back in 2006, or president-elect back in 2016, I think they've made a pretty strong effort to signal reactionary politics in a way that doesn't alienate the average voter too much. There have been a couple of big steps, like the transgender ban from the military, but there have also been a ton of efforts to try to pull away from that. There have been like so many attempts by Republicans and their pundits and their affiliates to indicate that they're not anti-trans, they're not anti-gay, they're just anti-this, that, the other, right? The initial anti-trans attitude from the right was them going, you're mentally ill, we disagree with you, but we're just trying to help you out by like cutting through your delusion and giving you a better life through recognition of what's really wrong or whatever. Not to say that isn't still transphobic or bad, it is. And they were being dishonest when they did it too, but it was like a softer attitude than what we have today. So I think one of the, like, there has been so much overextension lately. The kerfuffle with Mr. Beast, where Republican and conservative influencers decided that it would be a good idea to like openly attack the most popular YouTube guy for having a friend who is trans, who has done like literally nothing wrong. Great decision making there. Phenomenal strategy. Great priority choosing. And there's also been the Bud Light thing. Okay. Now I'm going to read an article out loud. And I'm going to read it out loud as though I am an average American. Okay. I'm an average American reading this as it crosses my feed. Okay. And I want you to imagine, how I would feel about it in this little play scenario we're doing. Okay. Bomb threat made to Budweiser's Van Nuys factory? The Los Angeles Police Department responded Thursday to a bomb threat made to Budweiser's Van Nuys factory. This threat coincides with other nationwide bomb threats allegedly made to other Budweiser factories this week as the company refuses to cut ties with the transgender influencer Dylan Mulvaney. The partnership between Mulvaney and Bud Light has drawn criticism from conservatives on social media. Musicians Kid Rock and Travis Tritt have rallied to boycott Budweiser. It was reported Thursday that a Missouri-based Budweiser distributor canceled all planned appearances of the iconic Clydesdale horses, citing threats to its employees. The Clydesdales have long been featured in Budweiser commercials. Guys, do you have any idea how psychotic it makes conservatives that extremely prototypically American company Bud Light is citing bomb threats and threats to its employees? Do you have any idea how psychotic that makes conservatives look? Like, really think about it. Think of how far we've come from them trying to pull their punches a couple years ago. An unbelievable shift in tone. And I've said it before. I think this makes them look psychotic. We're talking about conservatives making bomb threats to distribution centers for beer because Budweiser paid a transgender woman for an Instagram post where she promoted the beer. That is where we are right now. There is no universe in which that sentence registers as anything other than mental illness in the minds of conservatives. That is psychotic. Absolutely insane. Yeah, they're trying to cancel my beer. It's literally un-American. It is insane. I hope they keep it up. Not the bomb threats or the threats to the employees, but I hope conservatives continue to make it really easy to think they're insane. The median voter just does not give a shit about this. I'm telling you guys. Even Republicans think that that Republican politicians and candidates should talk about wokeness less. The average American just does not. They did an Instagram post where a trans woman said the beer is good. Comma, question mark, question mark, question mark, comma, bomb threats. Christ. I love Bud Light. Don't give a shit who their spokesman is. Gay. Does not matter to me. Everyone has a right to be happy. You can find love in this up world. Good for you. I'm drinking Bud Light. Median voter, the man Republicans fear. Phenomenal. The griller. He is the griller. This is the grill. He is grill pilled. He looks so fucked up. I'm sorry. Yeah, because it's a fucked up world. Exactly. Yeah, true proletarian. The success of American political movements have often relied on their ability to appeal to, or at least to manufacture an appeal to, the median voter, the silent majority, the everyman, you know? Highly specific, esoteric political arguments that don't register with the average person are probably not going to succeed that well when fielded as a political message, which is why very niche stuff, the Republicans will take it and kind of broaden it out into like a big argument about America, you know? So little twiddly policy details on immigration get turned into like, you know, they're stealing our jobs, America's being destroyed, blah, 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 blah. You have to make it about something big. The problem is, it's not really possible for Republicans to make this big enough to hide how insignificant and delusional and deranged its origins are. Does that make sense? It's really difficult because you can go like nothing changes the fact that the origin of this drama is literally like Bud Light pays trans woman for ad on Instagram. But you pull it back and it's like, well, they're promoting groomers, or they're destroying America by promoting this degenerate ideology. But it's still so abstract that people have to cut through it. Well, what actually did happen? Well, nothing. You know, I saw recently James O'Keefe. That is the grifter who founded Project Veritas, the disinfo org, and then left Project Veritas. Why did James O'Keefe leave Project Veritas again? Wasn't he kicked out? What did he do? Embezzlement? He was embezzling money? Okay, gotcha, great. That sounds about right. That's on board for him. Yeah, he went up recently, to Dylan and harassed her.
About our story, I'm James O'Keefe with OMG News outside the Four Seasons Hotel in Beverly Hills. Dylan Mulvaney is inside the women's restroom right now, so I'm going to ask him for comment about our story regarding women being in prison by men claiming to be transgender. Here we go.
The context for this is that the other day, James O'Keefe, now working with O'Keefe Media Group and not Veritas because he got kicked out of Veritas, did a groundbreaking story, which, if I remember correctly, had literally no verification. They basically just like said that, but there was like a video interview with some women who said there was a trans woman in their prison who was being like or sex pesty or something. I don't think it was verified or substantiated in any way. They, as far as I know, and knowing James O'Keefe, he probably just paid some women to like talk at a camera, then blurred their faces and went with it. There's no reason to trust anything that he says. He's pretty much a freak. He's a demon.
Go. Dylan, this is James O'Keefe, OMG. Women are being raped in a prison in Washington State by men claiming to be transgender. There's footage of them talking about the... Do you have a comment on the story here of the women being raped by the men claiming to be transgender? James O'Keefe.
Wow, they're really getting her here. This is really hard-hitting investigative journalism. This definitely doesn't look extremely weird on O'Keefe's part.
OMG News. What do you think about the women who are being raped by the men who are transgender? Do you have a comment about that?
Please don't come in the elevator.
What do you think about, what is your comment to the women who are being raped by men claiming to be transgender, Dylan? So we're
dude, you totally got her, man. You jump her with a story that you probably made up that she doesn't know anything about, and then when she says, "Please leave me alone," she's not shouting out, "Yeah, get owned, bro, get owned."
Here with Dylan.
By the way, really good poise on Dylan's part. As annoying as I find her, this is pretty much ideally how you would handle things from her end, you know?
Haven't had much Bud Light recently, but we're very interested in the women's prison. Dylan? Okay.
Good editing there. The golden elevator was like the prison. Oh, man. I'm glad that getting kicked out of Veritas has given O'Keefe the range and the artistic freedom.
She did go into the she went into the women's restroom.
What the hell are you doing? This is a women's bathroom.
This is extremely normal. This is very good for the median voter. This is very effective messaging.
Trying to show them the footage.
Oh yeah, this is the groundbreaking O'Keefe thing. Again, as I understand it, there's no verification of the story, which means you basically have to take O'Keefe's word that he didn't just pay a woman to talk about being assaulted by trans women in prison and then blur it out and make it unverifiable. You're essentially taking it at his word. And if you'll recall, the last story we covered from Veritas was one in which they said they were talking to the global, worldwide, ultra CEO, super ultra person in charge of Pfizer, who didn't exist. And there was no evidence of him existing outside of a paper that was published like 6 years ago that wasn't under Pfizer. And he just didn't exist in the corporate website or anything. And then everything disappeared. He was never acknowledged again. So trust James O'Keefe when he says that this is a real story and not something he made up.
No comment here at the Four Seasons Hotel in Beverly Hills? All right.
I know that place.
I wonder where she's going. He's going.
Accidentally genders her correctly, has to correct. Bro, why wouldn't you, like, try again? Why would you do that? That's really embarrassing. Why would you do that?
Do you guys have any, like, O'Keefe beer? O'Keefe beer? You have any O'Keefe? No O'Keefe beer? Do you guys have O'Keefe beer? You don't carry O'Keefe beer? No one will get a shipment in?
This is such a good bit, dude. This is very funny. Oh, wow. There wasn't even a punchline. Yeah, okay, so that was the... Is he okay? No, he's not okay. Oh, and then right under the video here posted is a comment from Christina Buttons, who we had on the stream, saying, more decent people would vote Republican if they weren't so viscerally repulsed by the behavior many Republicans celebrate. And, hey, that's kind of
James
funny.
O'Keefe
She's
with OMG
making...
News.
Sorry. My argument for me. I agree with Christina Buttons on this issue, which is that, you know, even for conservatives, this comes across as incredibly weird. It's just not good electorally. I'm feeling pretty optimistic about the future of trans people in this country right now, largely because the conservatives seem to be losing the plot when it comes to, like, how they handle their disinfo, you know? Hey, Vaush, it's refreshing to see so much going our way lately. As recently as a year ago, I was doomer about nearly everything. Glad to be here with you. Yeah. No, I always wanted to be clear, you know? I try to keep a positive tone on my streams. I know it doesn't always seem that way, but I've always felt like the mark of a strong mind and of a responsible political advocate is to be able to keep a positive attitude in spite of potentially really bad news. Lately, I've been feeling more optimistic, not because my mood has changed. My mood has been consistent, but rather because I've just seen so many signs of what I consider to be, you know, like really, really bad, effectively outreach from the GOP on their transphobia, and on some of their other, you know, policy positions. Their culture war bullshit, and that makes me optimistic. I can't believe Danil, man. Danil is so wild. All right, here's a little video, guys.
Danil, why are you eating like this, buddy? Two feet in the back. You're funny. Nice and steady.
So cute. Why is he eating like that? Brain damage.